everyone, and welcome back to Rick's Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to get a tighter, more accurate shift out of your manual transmission.
Say hello to the bad side. My emotion is flatline. Hungry demon, what I'm seeing is snack time. When I rush in the grab, I better run from the path line.
Alright guys, if you watched episode 42, I promised you a giveaway, and this is it. Make sure to watch to the end of the video for some more details. There have been lots of types of transmissions over the years, from the automatics that everyone's familiar with, to the slightly less known push-button shift. For some variety, there's even paddle shifters, and the dog box or sequential. Out of all the configurations, it seems that the one that's held in the highest regard, and stood the test of time, is none other than the gated manual. As great as it is, the classic manual isn't ideal in every application. Heavy horsepower drag cars will often rely on an automatic, and sometimes as small as a 2-speed, because shifting takes time, so the fewer needed, the better. Road track racing, by comparison, benefits from more gears with ratios that are close together. There'll be way more shifting, but the RPMs won't drop as much between the gears. That keeps the engine in the power band longer, which gets you shorter lap times. Unfortunately, most OEM shifters have lots of plastic and rubber in them, and although they're there for driver comfort, those parts will flex when you start banging gears. Unfortunately, that means that when you need a quick shift, you can't always trust your factory machine to transmit driver input to the gearbox. The good news is that Acuity Instruments have that issue solved with a bunch of upgrade parts. I'm going with their Stage 2 kit, which is everything they have to offer before a complete shifter replacement. The kit includes the base plate bushings, return spring, rocker arm, linkage bushings, and Acuity's short shift adapter. Now, all these parts can technically be installed with the shifter in the vehicle, but removing it from the car will make everything more accessible and much easier to work on. Let's grab some tools and get started. It's a good idea to cut power if you're unplugging stuff in a car, but in this case the battery is coming out because it's blocking access to the linkage bushings on the transmission. They've got a retaining pin that comes out easily with some needle nose pliers, and the factory bushings pop out gently using a screwdriver as a lever. The new Acuity bushings pop into place and are held in with a spiral retainer. These will eliminate most, if not all, of the flex between these components and should provide better feedback to the driver. Now that we're warmed up, let's go get that shifter. Now, to anybody watching who owns a 10th gen Civic, don't worry, I'll be making you a separate video on how to safely remove the console, but for now it's easier to skip that part. Be careful of little clips that can go flying when you disconnect the various linkage arms. Picks and small needle nose pliers will be your friends here. Now, Honda's got a weird way to secure the shifter cables, which actually becomes a little bit of an issue later. Lastly, 4 10mm bolts hold down the shifter frame. Let's get it out and over to the bench. Okay, now that everything's out in the open, let's get the OEM parts that we're upgrading off and out of the way. We'll start with the rocker arm and then the return spring. The linkage bushing is next, and finally the base bushings. Remember earlier when I said Honda's linkage mounting created an issue? The different geometry after installing a short shifter makes the cable flex strangely, resulting in a really annoying clicking sound. Automotive YouTuber Pawin goes into much better detail in this video, but basically the shifter housing gets some strategic holes drilled in it, and the cable gets held down with zip ties. Alright, now that the Honda specific problem is sorted, let's start putting stuff back together. The return spring is first, which not only will provide some more resistance, reducing the weird floating shifter feel, but will make things want to pop back into neutral faster, helping a 2-3 or a 4-5 shift. Next is the rocker arm, which is solid aluminum and is bolted down in place. Compare that to the flexible factory arm, and this will mean more accurate shifts using a consistent amount of force. Lastly on the frame is the short shift adapter. It's a machined extension that creates more leverage on the pivot, resulting in a shorter throw between gears. Acuity even made sure that the end will accept the factory bushing. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of car it is, I've always found it easier to reconnect the shifter cables before bolting down the frame. Cables and linkages can be stubborn, so giving them some extra room to flex makes it much easier to install. The last goodie is the solid aluminum base bushings. These will make sure the shifter frame stays planted to the floor and can't flex as easily. With the last few linkages reconnected, the center console can go back together, and this job is done. What a huge difference these new shifter components make. The soft, sloppy OEM feel is pretty much gone, and Miss Vicky now has a nice crisp engagement into each gear. Also, with the addition of the short shifter, you can very easily see the smaller throws across the entire spread of gears. Now mind you, not everyone might like their daily driver feeling like a high-performance car, but for those of you who do, consider upgrading your shifter components for a better drive. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and if you have, let me know by dropping a like, and while you're here, be sure to subscribe with notifications so you never miss a new episode. I'm Rick the Welder, and as always, thank you all very much for watching. Haha, I bet you thought I forgot about the giveaway. Last episode featured a really cool ceramic product made by Avalon King called Armor Shield 9. Be sure to check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Anyway, Avalon King sent me an extra ceramic kit that I want to share with one lucky viewer, along with some Rick's Garage stickers. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment about today's video, and you're entered. I'll be announcing the winner next episode, so good luck to everyone who wants to get their hands on this ceramic awesomeness.